For years, I have gotten comments about the duck stamp competition that essentially say, I want a new look, or I wish a creative piece would win. And I've always been very conflicted about these, because I get it and I totally agree, and I absolutely love any creative piece that is entered into this contest. But sometimes I struggle with it, and here's why. I loved this competition and thought it was perfect for me because I primarily worked with animals, and realism has always been my favorite style to paint in. So when I learned about the rules and the history of this contest, I realized it has always been about trying to depict nature, these ducks, in their most natural, idealized glory. And I get how those words are kind of contradicting. But the scoring criteria value anatomical accuracy and a natural habitat. That strictly is what this competition is about. So then how do creative works and other styles fit into it? Rob McBroom has been the absolute prime example of this. He's been entering for decades and literally expects to never really advance or win. But his work has become a staple of the competition and has brought so much awareness to it. And that's kind of only important with this specific competition. This is the only federally judged competition that exists, because it's not just an art contest. This stamp is the foundation of the biggest wildlife and wetlands fundraiser we have. Isn't that bizarre? Once again, I will state this is not a postage stamp, but I get wanting the representation on it to not just be hyperrealism. But since this is a federally judged competition and the rules are very strict, I don't see it changing. And I always view it as an homage to the original concept and history of the stamp, because I think it's one of the smartest things they could do, and it's the natural beauty of these ducks that we are inspired to preserve and protect, as well as any animals and plant life that lives around them. So in sum, I greatly welcome any interpretation of the rules and guidelines in any style that someone wants to enter in. I get asked a lot if it's worth it if you don't paint in a realistic style, and I think it just depends on your definition of worth, because in the end, I'm not really entering to win. I'm gonna enter this contest even if I never win for my entire life, because I value what it stands for, I value the work it does, and I never want it to go away. So any entry is a good entry. Naturally, over time, styles will shift a little bit, and you never know what can happen. So if you're inspired to paint a duck, paint a duck.